Yo, what is good, YouTube? Krishan checking back in with another video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So in the first update of the day, this is the latest from Hassan Mustafa at 3 days out from the Orlando Pro. These updates were actually posted up today by AJ Sims. Now Hassan looks very good in these updates, and I believe we're going to see a better version of Hassan this weekend than what we saw at the Puerto Rico Pro. Now, it seems like AJ and Hassan have been receiving the feedback. Hassan needs to be more full. Hassan needs to work on his execution in different poses. And I've been seeing Hassan do all of that, man. And I'm hoping he's going to come in a little bit fuller. Look at the side tricep, man. The vascularity of Hassan Mustafa. Even in this crab pose, they've already changed the execution, and it looks a lot better. Look at the arm. Look at the chest of Hassan Mostafa, man. This is going to be an incredible show. And I'll actually be doing my breakdown for the Orlando Pro in probably like a day or two. We have Andrea Presti in this show, Tonio Burton, guys like that. So it's actually going to be a pretty good show, but I think Hassan is going to bring an even better package than what he brought to the Puerto Rico Pro. Now, speaking of Andrea Presti, he will also be competing in this show this weekend. Presti took second in New York Pro, and then at the Cali Pro, he dropped a bit to like 8th or 9th. So he took a little bit of time off. He didn't compete as much as Mutsi or Theo LaGuerrier, so he's had like maybe 3 or 4 weeks off, so I think we should see a pretty good version of Presti. But overall, I think Presti knows he needs to take a little time off just to grow a bit more, and the improvements that he have made since the last year's Mr. Olympia are incredible as is, but it's always going to take a little longer to fill out a taller frame. Now, in the next update of the day, this was posted up recently by Samson Dauda. Samson is rumored to be around 315 pounds. I can't confirm that, but definitely from his face on the right, Samson is. He's definitely put on some weight, guys, but even at this weight, Samson is still able to pull a vacuum and still more aesthetic than a lot of men's open bodybuilders are on stage, taking nothing away from our mass monsters. But you guys know I love the mass with class, and Samson looks incredible. I recently posted a video breaking down his Prague Pro posing routine. You guys should definitely go check that out. Now, another very aesthetic guy, Quentin Araya, full head of steam. Quint is posting updates every single day. He's looking good. He's feeling good. He's about 5 weeks out from the Texas Pro. I've heard that Andrew Jett could possibly be hopping into this show, and Quentin is also doing the Tampa Pro, where he will have some stiff competition in Akeem Williams. But excited to see this guy hop on stage, man. One of the more aesthetic guys we have in men's open. Still needs a little bit more time for that muscle maturity in the upper body. As you guys can see, the quads are a lot more conditioned than the upper body. But this was also posted up by Quentin recently, this crab most muscular. Incredible physique, man, but just with the sport of bodybuilding, you have to put on more size to be competitive, man. That's just how the sport goes. I wish physiques like Rafa Brandea, Quentin Araya could place high without having to add so much mass to their physique. But the current Mr. Olympia is Big Ramy, so you're going to have to be as big as you possibly can to stack up against Big Ramy. Now, in the next update of the day, this is the latest from Justin Rodriguez, and Justin is honestly looking bigger than ever. Now, as you guys know, I reported that Justin is out of the Mr. Olympia. That is still not 100% confirmed, but Justin hasn't said that wasn't true. So I'm guessing Justin is possibly going to be at the Mr. Olympia. Now, even though with Justin being a lot bigger, he is a little bit softer than usual. So it is possible that Justin is in a recovery phase. And as I told you guys, I wouldn't be surprised because he's been in prep for a very long time. But hoping to see Justin, at his best whenever he hops back on a bodybuilding stage. Now, in the next story of the day, I thought this was a pretty interesting one. Blessing Awodibu actually made the news. And this past week, Blessing Awodibu went out to Lagos. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I know it's not a very rich country. And, Blessing is a guy that comes from Nigeria, Ireland. He comes from not having much. And I thought this was interesting. He went out there. He motivated a lot of them. He actually did a guest posing, but for some reason, he deleted it. And I wasn't able to catch it in time for this video. But he also did a lot of great things. If you guys don't follow Blessing on Instagram, definitely go give him a follow, Blessing Awodibu. He was saying like how a lot of these people live out on the water and have houses on the water, guys. Very incredible story, but go to his Instagram to find out more about that. Now, in the next story of the day, this is the latest from Petar Clancier, who will be doing the Portugal Pro. I believe Portugal is going to be next weekend. But from the updates I've been seeing of Petar, he does look a little bit better than what he was at the Cali Pro. And he was able to take 5th place there. Arguably he was the biggest and one of the most conditioned guys on that stage. Now, at this Portugal Pro, he will have some competition, as I've been telling you guys, with Vlad Sukaruko. Now, Vlad, incredible bodybuilder, and he placed 3rd at the Europa Pro last year behind Nathan Diaz and Roelly Winkler. And as we all know, Roelly Winkler wasn't bringing his best packages last year, so Vlad arguably could have been second. This guy is huge, man, and if these guys happen to be the top two, it will be an incredible battle, guys. But as we know from the past, we never really know who's going to be the top two. Now, the next update of the day, this is the latest from Regan Grimes. It isn't much, just a real less spread. Regan Grimes also did a lot of competitions, and a lot of people were saying his body was very tired. But as I mentioned to you guys, Regan did suffer from the virus a little bit out from the Arnold Classic. But just for his fans and, everyone wanting to see the new version of him with Milos, he decided to push through and still do the Arnold Classic. But I'm excited to see Regan in December, man. I hope people haven't started writing him off yet. Incredible physique. Now, in the next update of the day, this is the latest from Keon Pearson at 5 weeks out from the Texas Pro. And I can honestly say this is the most conditioned I've ever seen Keon Pearson since he's come over from the Classic Physique division, As a lot of us know, Keon Pearson has had problems coming in condition. And honestly, I believe Keon is just a guy that really lets the nerves get to him. As I mentioned and numerous other people mentioned, Keon is one of the most genetically gifted athletes in the sport. And going into last year's Mr. Olympia, a lot of people had Keon winning when I don't even believe Keon placed. But Keon went over to work with Seth Feroci at Accent Sledge. He's training with Branch Warren, Martin Fitzwater. Keon is mentally in a lot better state. And it's going to be scary this year, guys. Look out for Keon Pearson this year. Now, the next story of the day, the picture on the left was posted up recently by one of my favorite 212 guys, Oleh Kryvyi, and he is qualified for the Mr. Olympia. Now, I believe in 2019 or 2020, he took 5th place. So he has been in that top 6 at the Mr. Olympia already. Very comparable physique to Angel Calderon, and Angel actually placed 4th last year at the Mr. Olympia in the 212 division. And as you guys can see from the back shot on the right, this guy means business, and he could potentially be a future Olympia champion in that division. Now, in the next update of the day, I want to share a couple more images of Gabriel Zancanelli from this past weekend's Expo Pro Super Show. And as a lot of people know, it was supposed to be him and Horse MD battling it out. But Horse MD didn't make weight, and Zancanelli actually ended up in 3rd. Now, from a lot of pictures I've seen, from some pictures, I see Zancanelli winning. But when I see another angle, the guy from Iran that won, Ali, I can see him winning. So, in the end, guys, you honestly have to be at the show. But Zancanelli took 3rd place, and he's pretty satisfied with it. Now, in the next update of the day, this is a small one, but I definitely want to share it with you guys. This is Ramon Dino with the legend Dennis Wolf. Ramon is in the offseason, man, looking huge. Look at the arms. Look at the forearms. And Dennis Wolf is looking lean and mean, man. But Ramon is one of the most popular guys we have in bodybuilding right now. So I'm sure you guys don't mind the random Ramon Dino updates. But this guy's incredible, man. Look at the arms. The first guy that came to mind was Lee Priest when I seen this shot, man. Even though his arms aren't as big as Lee Priest, but Ramon Dino, incredible physique, and I'm excited for Classic Physique this year. Now, in the last story of the day, I did want to share this recent image of Roelly Winkler. And Roelly is looking good, man. Not 100% sure what Roelly is going to do, but if Roelly decides to compete more, I'm behind him. But he doesn't really have to, he doesn't really have anything to prove. And if Roelly decides not to compete, that's fine as well. But another thing I hate when channels make narratives about this guy's downsizing, this guy's doing this and that, you guys will never hear this over at Go Fitness, man. Roelly Winkler is a legend in the sport, and whatever he decides to do, we should all be 100% behind him. And as always, I hope you guys did indeed enjoy this video, man. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Krishan from Go Fitness, and I'm out.